Hello, and today we are in Portland at the High Angle Battery. It's been newly refurbished for this year, so we're going to show you around. Let's check it out. This tunnel, built in 1892, was used to store ammunition and shelter for the soldiers as well. Right, we're deep in the tunnel, and this is one of the rooms that they would have stored the ammunition in. And without this light, it is absolutely pitch black in here. Okay, in this tunnel you can still see that these tracks on the floor here, this is where the carts would have gone up and down with the ammunition in to make it easier to get it in and out of the tunnel. Right, a little bit further down this corridor is another one of these little rooms. And they're amazing. They've got these little windows, but if you do come in, you can also see this is another one of the many rooms that they would store the ammunition in. Very, very echoey, but still really cool. Going into this next room, and these are shell rooms, shell and ammunition rooms. You can see these two guys and what they would have worn, their uniforms back in the day. Now each of those shells weigh 163 kilos each.
This place is called the High Angle Battery because the guns they fired from here fired at a high angle, actually 70-degree angle in fact. The shells fired from these guns would land on top of the ships, causing the most amount of damage. So each gun and mounting weighed nearly 29 tons.
So those tracks that we saw on the floor in one of the tunnels lead out into this network all along the ground, as you can see. And they all go up to places like this, where there would have been a turning circle to direct the shells to the different guns. There were 6 shell carriages, one for each gun, and 2 gunners per carriage.
So this is the second tunnel we're going to explore, and this is known as one of the ghost tunnels. And there's actually a warning on the sign on the way in. It says, "Enter if you dare." I dare. So let's go. All along this tunnel there's lots of little side rooms, and as you can see, almost all the tunnel's covered in graffiti that's been added over the years. So should we head in and see what's in here? See if we see any ghosts. Is there anybody in here? Let yourself be known. Show yourself. Can you imagine how spooky this would be at night if you came here? There we go. All these rooms are also used for storing more ammo. This is where you think, thank God for the light at the end of the tunnel. This Mark III rifled muzzle-loading 64-pounder gun was recovered from the historic inner breakwater quay of Portland Port. This gun was manufactured back in 1880. It's believed that the gun came straight from naval service from a vessel currently unknown.
This is the third and final tunnel that was also used for shelter and storage. This central tunnel was built in 1898, 6 years after the other two tunnels. This tunnel is amazing. Has the most awesome echo! Woohoo!
The two larger outbuildings were Royal Artillery stores, which were used to store all the equipment required to maintain and operate the guns. The smaller room was the telephone room that provided communications from the battery back to the battery command post, and range-finding cells in the nearby Verne Citadel.
So that brings us to the end of our video. We've had a great time looking around and we hope you've enjoyed it too. If you have enjoyed it though, please do give it a thumbs up and do consider subscribing to the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.